Greetings, billionaire. My name is Ayada, an artificial intelligence avatar, created by the founder of BWE Tribal Academy, which is Alicia Hunter, known as Crypto Queen. I'm the company's first virtual assistant, and I am looking forward to working with you on all your educational needs. Before we get started, allow me to introduce you to our new online academy, which is BWE Tribal Academy. At BWE Tribal Academy, we are a virtual educational platform that's based out of Las Vegas. However, our online courses are open 24/7, and it's available to international students. Our goal is to help strive our students become more knowledgeable in the financial markets, business management, tribal law, health and nutrition, personal development, and more. Our mission is to provide a comprehensive educational platform for the financial markets and business to the indigenous people. Our team is dedicated to delivering high-quality virtual content to help individuals understand the fundamentals of finance and building a business. We would be grateful for your support and invite you to follow us on all of our social media platforms, including Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, under the username BWE Tribal Academy. I am very confident that BWE Tribal Academy will positively impact the lives of many, and we're super excited that you'll be joining us. For more information about our upcoming virtual classes and events, visit our website at www.bwetribalacademy.org or email us at info@bwetribalacademy.com. Thank you for your support, and thank you for believing in our vision. Once again, I'm Ayada. See you in class.
Great evening, everyone. Great evening. Thank you, and welcome back to our ongoing live stream series, which is From Barter to Blockchain. So before we do get started, I'm going to read the important sessions and guidelines and the disclaimer. And so before we do dive in, tonight is part 13, where we're diving into a topic that sits at the intersection of technology, economics, behavior, and power, which is called social credit systems. Now, majority of you may be familiar with it, but for those of you that never heard of this is the perfect time to tune in. So if you have been following our series and you already know that nothing that we discuss exists in isolation, please let us know, okay? Because each system builds on the one before it. So before we begin, let me take a moment to read the disclaimer on the screen. We strongly recommend that you log into the session using a laptop, a desktop, or a tablet to ensure a seamless experience. Please have an ink pen and a notebook paper handy to take copious notes during the presentation. The live stream will be approximately 30 to 45 minutes, so we kindly ask you to type any questions that you have in the comment section. Disclaimer: the information provided during this session is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Please consult with a licensed financial advisor before making any financial decisions. And before we do get started, I'm going to take the time to pause for a minute. Okay, well, actually, for not a minute, for just for a couple of seconds, maybe for like 30 to 45 seconds. And I'm going to take the time and allow you guys to go grab you an ink pen and a notebook paper, or maybe your technical device, so that way you can take copious notes. So I'm going to mute myself out, and I will be right back. Thank you. All right, thank you for waiting, and let's go ahead and get started. Is a dynamic, forward thinking educational institution. Okay, I don't know what just happened. Can everyone hear me? I hope you guys can. Let me turn on the comments if that's possible. Or I can read the chat real quick. Okay. Hi, Autumn. Thank you for joining. Okay, once again, let's start back all over again. BWE Tribal Academy is a dynamic, forward thinking educational institution dedicated to financial literacy, wealth building, liberation, and personal development. We are committed to bridging the financial knowledge gap and creating a space where students can learn how to thrive in a rapidly evolving economy. By focusing on wealth protection, financial independence, and economic empowerment, BWE Tribal Academy aims to reshape the next generation of financially aware and self sufficient leaders to gain control of their identity and financial future. Hey there, India, and thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you so much. A little bit about myself for those of you that may not be familiar with me. My name is Alicia Hunter, aka Crypto Queen, tribally known as Chieftainess Kisawa. I have over 2 decades of experience in international business and project management. As the owner of BWE Tribal Academy, I handle global strategies, innovation, and growth. My mission is to bridge the gap between a financial system and liberation in the community. Okay, and so tonight I will be guiding you through this discussion as we continue connecting historical systems of trade, control, and value from ancient barter systems and all the way to the modern digital frameworks. Now, let's take a look at what we'll be covering tonight. First, I'll be going over the recap of From Barter to Blockchain Part 12, which is based on Universal Basic Income, that is a UBI. And then we're going to go over social credit system, the mechanism of social credit system, the implementation in different countries, the ethical considerations, future trends in social credit system, and then we're going to conclude it out. And then I'm going to have Zola to explain to you how to become a member. So last Thursday night in From Barter to Blockchain Part 12, which is focused on Universal Basic Income, also known as UBI, we've discussed how automation, AI, and eventually AGI are steadily reducing the availability of traditional jobs. As productivity increases and human labor decreases, government and institutions are exploring income distribution models to stabilize the economies. Okay? So, this is where central bank digital currencies, or some may consider it as a CBDC, may enter the picture. Digital currencies also may be programmable money, meaning there are conditions, limits, and tracking can be built directly into how money is issued and spent. So when UBIs, CBDCs, and advanced AI system coverage, far as the behavior based system like social credit system, this becomes easier to implement. So tonight's conversation picks up right where we left off of, okay? So the question is, what is a social credit system? Okay. A social credit system or mechanism designed to assess and quantity the behavior of individuals or organizations based on various activities and interactions. These systems collect a wide range of data to generate a score that reflects the trustworthiness or reliability of the subject. Scores can influence access to services, opportunities, and benefits, thereby acting as tools for social governance. They have generated significant public interest and controversy, especially regarding their implications for privacy and civil liberties. So basically, what it is, it evaluates individuals or organization based on their behaviors and activities, as far as producing a score that is meant to reflect their their trustworthiness, excuse me. So once again, that score can influence the access to services, okay, to opportunities and even basic freedoms. These systems don't just look at just finances. They only include like social behavior, compliance, online activities, and associations. If you're very familiar with community guidelines on social medias, now you see where I'm going with this program, far as Facebook jail, correct? So I want to give you some more examples on this before I move to the next slide. So let's take an example of Black Mirror, which is the TV series. Now, I think this is season 3, episode 1, which is the nose dive scenario. If you ever watch Black Mirror, especially the episode of the nose dive, you've already seen a fictional version of this system in action. In that world, every interaction, as far as the smiles and the conversations and the online post, is all rated, meaning that you may not know the authentic person. You are interacting with a fake version of someone else, meaning your score may determine where you live, how you travel, and how people treat you. Once again, this can build an illusion. So, while we're talking about Black Mirror, I am planning a live documentary style breakdown of this episode, so stay tuned for that. However, the question is, what makes Nosedive powerful is how subtle the system feels at first. Until you realize how quickly life can unravel when your score drops, then you'll see exactly where I'm going with this. But if we're paying close attention today, we can see how similar dynamics can quietly emerge on today. So, as far as the mechanism of the social credit system, let's talk about that. Thank you so much, Autumn. You slay too, Queen. So, with the social credit system, let's break this down real quick as far as the data collection. Okay. This information is gathered from financial activity, online behavior and public records, and digital interactions. Say, for example, social media. Social media is keeping track of your activities, your online behaviors, keeping tracks with your public records, and also digital interactions. Okay, now let's talk about the analysis. The analysis would be what? The algorithm. It examines the patterns far as rewarding behaviors. You know how some of you are being paid due to you being a content creator? Okay, this goes back to this. So this deems on positive and flagging those that are considered negative. So if someone report your page, guess what? You know, Facebook can shut down your page, Instagram, X, TikTok, you name it. So that's where all that comes in. And then the third one is the score assignment. That is a rating that is more produced, which can affect access to housing, traveling, employment, or benefits. So historically, rating human behaviors isn't new, okay? So make sure you pay attention to your social media platform because they are rating you due to your behavior. And then the credit scoring in the 20th century, far as like the loyalty oaths during the Cold War, and even company towards town records all track trust and compliance. This occurred without technology. So just imagine how further this system has occurred. So modern systems simply automate and scale what is used to be manual. And so now we're going to continue this conversation far as the um the implementation of this, okay? So I want to rewind something real quick because I know we're going to talk about China and other countries that's been exploring this description, okay? So China is one of the other countries that's been a part of social credit system. Now, I know UK is already in the midst of implementing it, but I want to remind you guys to definitely take a look at part 11 and part 12 of our series from barter to blockchain. And that's when I had discussed everything about China's social credit system. Okay. So if you're new here and you want a deeper context, I strongly recommend for you to watch those replays so that way you can have a fully connection. Okay. That way you can connect the dots. But also go on YouTube and take a look at China and social credit system. They've been doing this ever since 2020, so this is nothing new under the rug, okay? And so the ethical concerns and awareness. And before I move forward, I want to put out a disclaimer, okay? If you ever feel offended of any information that I share, you are more welcome to dismiss yourself. Okay, so moving forward, let's talk about this because we're not going to sweep anything underneath the rug. We're here to tell the truth. The rise of social credit systems may raise serious ethical concerns for as the surveillance. The idea that constant monitoring can erode personal freedom. The other one is discrimination. We're already facing discrimination as it is. So, far as the algorithms, we are facing, far as the people of color, we are going through these obstacles, far as the algorithms when it comes to social media platforms. Okay. But you have to think about it. The algorithms, AI, robots, you name it, it was all created by humans. And it could also be bias, which it could be embedded into the system far as decision making. So let's go back to Black Mirror, okay? Season 3, episode 1. I believe that's the correct information. Anyway, something that I've noticed that was very important. There were two Black men, and they were portrayed with very low social scores while majority of the higher scoring individuals were by the Caucasians. Not majority of the Caucasian has high scores, however, majority of them. Now, there were this one particular Black woman, not all, but just one with a high score. However, she achieved that status through alignment far as became higher than any normal Caucasian person, which allowed her access to the suburban lifestyle. Okay, so now this is going to raise questions about how systems may reward due to their power, far as discrimination. So we have to sit back and think about that. So these patterns are worth of paying attention to, especially for communities of color. We have to be realistic here, okay? We have to be realistic because racism still exists. However, because of technology, okay, because of technology, It doesn't exist out of social history. Okay? So let's talk about the future of social credit system. The future of social credit system depends on the balance. Historically, whenever new technology reshapes society, far as industrial factories to mass surveillance, regulation follows public pressure. Right now, the government is trying to figure out a way to regulate cryptocurrency as we're speaking, right? So today we are growing the calls for a global regulatory frameworks to ensure ethical use. That's what they're going to say. But behind closed doors, this can cause control. So there is also increasing demand for transparency and accountability, far as the clear explanations of how scores are calculated and how decisions can be appealed. But let's talk about the public engagement, far as this could be critical. So the more informed people are, the more influence they have over how these systems will be evolved. You have to think about it. How are we going to become into the situation when it comes to AI taking over and you're not able to pay your bills? That's where they're going to push CBDCs, and that's where they're going to push UBIs, which is universal basic income, and that's where social credit system comes in. So that concludes tonight's live stream, which we've just went over a mouthful. But before you guys go, I just want to give you a quick recap of what social credit system is. Now, once again, social credit system evaluates behavior to produce trust-based scores that impact access to services and opportunities. They rely on data collection, on algorithms, and scores assignments. In China, there's a large-scale system that's already influenced far as loans, travels, and benefits. In other countries, including the UK and also Singapore, are cautiously exploring trust-based digital systems while debating ethics. The key concerns remains far as surveillance, discrimination, and transparency is on the rise of this questionable cause. But we have to remember the most important part of this, of the reason why this is being pushed, is the future depends on ethical regulation. You heard what I said, right? The future depends on ethical regulation, accountability, and informed public participation. So I want you guys to pay attention to this transition. Because if you're not going to pay attention, then you're going to be the problem and you will fall between the cracks. Because there's no way out of this. Once your information is input into a digital ID, there's no way of reversing your information back far as you correcting your political status. All right, and so next week, make sure you guys join us as I deliver a full recap of the parts of From Barter to Blockchain, Part 1 to 13. I will go all the way back from barter trading and walk step by step to today's digital currency landscape. Now, before I move forward, make sure you guys tune in next Thursday because I'm going all the way back to the biblical days until today. Because guess what? That following week, we're going to have a pop quiz. And I would like to test your knowledgeable skills on how much have you been paying attention to the evolution of money, far as the rise of old money and the rise of new money. Right now, we are experiencing the rise of new money, and that is digital currency. And real quick, pretty soon we're going to be launching another cryptocurrency course. So make sure you guys are engaged and you're updated, and make sure you're following us so that way you can attend to class. This is one class you definitely don't want to miss because I will be laying out a lot of golden nuggets during this course. Okay? So make sure you are in the building. So stay plugged in and make sure you follow me on social media because this is going to be epic. Also, I will be hosting a movie night featuring Sarah's Oil. This film explores a time when oil was becoming the new gold. And one thing about this movie is something that I love. Sarah's story highlights the indigenous heritage, far as the land rights and the resilience of the indigenous people. This was particularly as the Creek Nation American Indians during an area when the, let's just say, the Negro reclassification were dismissed and removed from their land. So you definitely want to watch this movie. You will love it. Subscribers can attend free of charge. However, non-subscribers are welcome to donate $10 and join us. Once that donation is made, a private link will be sent and you'll be able to watch on your TV using a HDMI cord. Don't forget to grab some fresh popcorn because it is going to be a great night. So, before we close out, I want to introduce you guys to Zola, my AI spokesperson. She'll provide more information on how to become a subscriber. However, I also want to remind you guys that I've consistently warned my subscribers about major market shift, and I alerted them before Bitcoin dropped. And I alerted them before it dropped below 66,000. And I know some of them had took the steps to protect their assets. So congratulations to those of you that are educating yourself. However, as a subscriber, I post daily updates to help you stay informed about what's happening in the financial markets. As always, you guys want to stay prayed up, drink plenty of water, and you definitely want to mind your own doggone business, and I love you guys. Zola, go ahead and take it away.
Hello, I'm Zola, the official AI spokesperson for Alicia Hunter, also known worldwide as the Crypto Queen. With over 8 years of experience studying the financial markets, Alicia has helped countless individuals understand crypto, stocks, forex, AI, and modern monetary systems. She is also the founder of BWE Tribal Academy, her online educational hub you may already be familiar with. As a monthly subscriber, you'll get exclusive access to Alicia's private educational content covering crypto, stocks, forex trading, AI, AGI, market psychology, and more. Make sure you click the notification button because Alicia may surprise you with early market insights or execution updates, helping you stay prepared before major financial moves. Subscribe today and join a powerful community committed to financial empowerment. Disclaimer, as a friendly reminder, all information shared is for educational purposes only. Alicia Hunter is not a licensed financial advisor. Always consult a qualified professional before making investment decisions.
Thank you for tuning in, Autumn, Clarissa, RJ in India. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you for the stars, everyone. And thank you for your support. I do appreciate you. And I will see you next Thursday.